Welcome to UCAN Studios. I am your host, Isaac Walsh, and I'm here with Daniel. Say good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Before we get to him, if this is your first time here and you know someone who's struggling, please go to UCANMichigan.com. And if they have struggles with drug rehabilitation or housing or mental health, click on there, click on struggling. You can find help instantly, put in your information. Someone will call you back within 24 hours. If you know someone that's struggling with food, clothes, baby formula, any kinds of stuff like that, please go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on struggling. We have over 20 different nonprofits that we are working with, and that can help people. So be a part of the team. Help us, help others, help you. All right, Daniel, how are we doing this morning?
Good, man. How you been?
Man, if I was doing any better, I'd be you.
Okay.
So you are a comedian.
I'm been just getting into it. Yes.
And we're going to get jokes later. That's the end of the story.
All right.
But at the beginning of the story, you work with a whole bunch of nonprofits, and but the one that you and I met with was Strength in Numbers with Renee, right?
Yes.
All right. So real quick, how did you get hooked up with her before we get in your story?
Okay. Well, Strength in Numbers. It's not a nonprofit. That specifically is a just group of volunteers. But Renee kind of having a meeting with maybe 12 different people that she knew works with veterans in the communities.
Yep.
And said, hey, let's all band together here, see what we can do. She put a name on Strength in Numbers, and she's got donors and volunteers, and we've been able to help a whole lot of veterans over the last couple of years.
And, dude, she's a fire pister, and I love her.
Yes,
and my favorite thing about you being here is she went to it, so now I get to promote that she's awesome, right?
Yeah. She gets a lot of things done, man, for veterans.
Oh, she's a get-it-done person, and I love that's my favorite thing. I'm the same way, and people either love or hate that about you, and I freaking love that about her. All right, so, Daniel, where did you grow up originally?
I grew up right here in Flint, Michigan, man.
Flint, Michigan. Where at? What part?
I grew up on a little bit everywhere. I said I went to high school over on the east side. I lived over there. Went to Flint Central High School.
Flint Central.
Yep.
Okay.
Graduated from there.
Graduated from there. Did you do any sports or anything?
I played soccer in high school.
Soccer?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So did I.
Yeah. And I was in the junior ROTC group, so I did that too.
Okay. Now, did you go right into the military out of high school?
I did. Yep.
All right. What year did you graduate?
I graduated 05.
05.
Same
Man,
year I went in.
So young.
Right.
Wow. So you graduated in 2005. All right. So that means like your high school years was 99 or 2005.
Yeah.
All right. So what was that like? Were you like a nerd? Were you a popular kid?
Man, I was a quiet kid. Not a whole lot. I mean, I had my few friends, and things like that. But yeah, didn't make a whole lot of noise. I think I flew under the radar pretty well,
Yeah. So at the party you were there, but
no
one knew that you were there.
Right.
All right. So you did ROTC.
I mean, it took me a little while to graduate. Don't get me wrong. I was skipped my fair share and things. But,
did you?
Yeah.
Well, So anything like pertinent happened when your parents married, divorced? Like
they were separated at a young age and stuff. So.
Yeah. Do you remember how old?
No, I don't.
Yeah, mine got separated at 7. So understanding that process. And did you stay with your mom or dad?
I lived with my mom and 2 brothers.
Okay. Where'd you sit amongst the brothers?
I was the oldest brother.
You were the oldest.
Yep.
So you had to carry the weight all the time.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess.
I understand that. All right. So you graduate. Do you remember what your GPA was?
Man, no. And
good enough to graduate?
Yeah. After 5 years, it's good enough to graduate.
Right. And good enough to go in ROTC. All right. What branch did you go into?
I went into the Marine Corps.
The Marine Corps. Okay. And what was your MOS?
I was 0311 infantry. So.
Infantry.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
In the Seabees, we like to call those bullet sponges.
Yeah.
But whatever. Moving forward. Hung out with a bunch of Marines.
Uh-huh.
All right. So where'd you go to basic?
I went to basic in San Diego, Marine Corps Recruit Depot.
Okay. And so you went in 05?
Yep, 05.
What, July?
I went in August.
August okay.
of 05, yeah.
Ooh, so the end of that sucked.
Yeah, it was a one down there, yeah.
All right.
For a Michigan boy,
Yeah, right. Gets a little chilly.
Yeah.
All right, so you graduate boot camp. So that'd have been what, December or January?
When I graduated boot camp.
Yeah.
Let's see, I went in there in August, September, October, November. Three months. Yeah, November.
Okay. So you do your crucible, you get done, you get out. Then what happens?
Of course, they let you come home for a couple weeks and enjoy that.
Yeah.
On my return, I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to go back to infantry school. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I graduated in November, so you got the Marine Corps birthday November 10th, you got Veterans Day November 11th, you got Thanksgiving, Christmas, you got all the holidays coming up.
Yeah.
So who better than the newest privates to stay on base through the holidays and
serve everybody
and stand guard.
Yeah.
And so we got put into a guard platoon. So we're just kind of protecting the base through the holidays. So before I even got to go to my school, I kind of got stuck for pretty much like 2 months just guarding the
any good
base.
Stories in boot camp having to deal with DIs or anything?
Man, it was no more than anybody else, I don't think. I mean, nothing too crazy, but I would say definitely in guard platoon, being so new to the Marine Corps and given kind of so much freedom because all the higher ups are gone home for the holidays and
what'd
such.
You do?
And so we're supposed to be guarding this base that's completely empty. Everyone's gone home.
Yeah.
And so all the real gung-ho guys got lost a lot of that motivation pretty quickly when you're like, man, we're just walking around guarding nothing here.
Yeah.
And you catch guys, crashed out on, post or whatever all the time up.
Well, those late nights tend to catch up with you a little bit.
Yeah, like, man. So
that's pretty funny. Any good pranks?
Oh, man.
Nothing off the top of your head?
Not so much a prank, but I remember like I said, we're there at holidays, so we're there for Christmas. And, we're out of boot camp, so we can't really be, like, messed with too much no more exactly. But we had this corporal come in, and he's just terrorizing the place. He's dumping sandbags everywhere, all of our barracks, tearing the sheets off the beds, throwing everything everywhere like he's
one of those guys
stuff, and we're a little bit over it. Like, all right, man, whatever. Like, this ain't boot camp no more and stuff. And they got a USMC on the wall. And I remember one of the guys going like, "You suckers miss Christmas," and put that on there, got in trouble for that kind of stuff. But looking back now, it was memories being made. We were kind of just embracing what was to come, kind of embracing the suck at that time.
Embracing the suck.
And,
God, you got to love that sense.
Yeah, and preparing us for what was to come.
Yeah. All right, so what happened next then?
I got out of there, and we found out where we were going. And, you get all the cool stories. Marines are in Japan and Hawaii, and they're traveling the world on a ship. And, man, I'd say about 90% of us that graduated from that class went to 29 Palms, California, and stationed down there with the Infantry Unit 27.
That's not terrible, though.
I mean, not a whole lot going on down there.
When you're young and Brody, you want to get in an action.
But that's the crazy thing, as long as that war was. I remember being in boot camp thinking, like, and then getting stuck in that guard platoon for 2 months and, like, oh, man, the war's going to be over by the time we get there.
We're not going to be able to shoot anybody.
Right. Like, oh, man, we're never going to get to the war in time.
Yeah.
Fast forward 15 years later.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Perpetual and continuous, right?
Right.
All right. So you get stationed there, and how long were you there?
29 Palms. I was in the Marine Corps 4 years, and I was stationed 29 Palms with 2-7 my entire time. And it was we were at one of the biggest training bases there is in the military, so it's constant. It's training.
Yeah, it's a city, bro.
Yeah, it's a city built for training, kind of, really. Yeah. And, like, we go out there, drive into the desert, and we train all the time, desert warfare.
It's cold out there, isn't it?
It can get cold out there at night, for sure. You think it's the desert, but at nighttime, that wind gets, you get cold.
Allegedly.
Right, and so, a lot of training, deployment. It was kind of, how my experience, went in the military. But
anything memorable happened during that time?
I mean, all through the entire
like
time.
That we can talk about. That's what I'm saying. Nothing.
Definitely a lot of.
Like, let me give you an example of what my brain's thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, so you're practicing out there, and someone decides to take a smoke grenade and throw it in the middle of the run because they're hilarious.
Right.
Stuff like that. Right. Or maybe inciting a riot because you had a band come on and they. Those kind of things. Right, those memories that just ring bells of some kind or whatever. Nothing like that? You seem like you're pretty struck together.
I mean, man, I personally was not usually one of the, anarchists of the barracks, but we had a lot of crazy guys doing a lot of crazy things constantly, to where, the entire units getting in trouble. These guys are from, taking the new guys up to Sugar Cookie Hill, throwing all the gear on them and having them run up and down, all those things,
Yeah.
And, drink competitions.
Sugar Cookie Hill.
Yeah. It's nothing I ever want to visit again, I'll tell you.
Yeah, all right.
So.
All right, so you do 4 years, so this puts you at 09.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if I remember right, the economy was just tanking right then.
Yep.
Right? So you get out and you decide, okay, I'm done?
Well, yeah, it was 08, or I got it out 09. 08, I was in Afghanistan. 07, I was in Iraq. So I had 2 years in a row of that, pretty much just constant deployment.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen enough.
How many deployments did you get out?
I got 2. So 07 Iraq, 08 Afghanistan.
Okay.
Kind of.
So you get done, you get back.
And
you're like, all right, I did my.
I kind of felt that way. I've done my time, and man, I had a couple close calls.
Yeah.
Myself.
You didn't miss the war.
Not at all. So it barely missed me. And so
you said you had a couple of close calls.
Yeah, I had a few close calls, and I was like, maybe I've pushed my luck far enough.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time I try something else.
Yeah.
So,
and you did what, 6 months each time?
We did a little more than that. I think maybe closer to 9 months. I forget which deployment.
Yeah. It all runs together, right?
Yeah, closer to 9 months each one, probably.
All right. So in 08, you did that. So 07, 08. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go through there, you get done, and you're like, all right, my time here is done. Gentlemen, thank you. Blah, blah, blah. What'd you transition out to?
I came out and kind of went to school for a little bit there, studied some criminal justice stuff, and worked at a factory out there in Davison, Michigan for a little while. Just kind of,
Did you like it, or is it just something to do?
Just something to do, first job that kind of came to...
Like, why criminal justice? Because it's match the military experience, or what?
It kind of things, people, it seems like the easy route, criminal justice, go become a cop.
Yeah, because I was already a Marine, so yada.
It seems like an easy route.
Yep,
so,
gotcha.
And just kind of went there. I didn't even mean to go sign up for college. I was going with...
You didn't mean to?
No, really.
So it's an accident. I swear I didn't want to get smarter.
I went in, my brother's signing up, and his wife signing up, and I go with them, and like... Time we leave that building that day, I'm signed up with them and stuff. I'm like, I don't know if that's what I want to do, but I guess
right.
So.
But here I am.
Yeah, they heard I had a GI Bill. They're like, have a seat.
Oh yeah, they wanted your 65. Right?
Yeah, so.
Yeah. We're gonna help you.
Right.
So you went to college. You took a couple classes.
Yep. Went to there and started working, doing volunteer work with different organizations.
Now, what was the first group you started working with?
You
remember?
Man, it's tough to say. I was doing work with IAVA.
IAVA, what's that?
Which was Iraq, Afghanistan Veterans of America. This
okay.
is years ago. I was doing some work in D.C., kind of on the political side.
So why did you lean towards doing work in the nonprofit world?
It just kind of found me, man. I didn't really. It's just like I was volunteering anytime, there's kind of an opportunity. Team Red, White, and Blue. I was volunteering with just all these little organizations that started here about way back when.
Okay.
And I don't know. That's just kind of how I've always been wired, I guess.
All right, sit tight. Before we go anymore, we already got to go to our first break. Daniel, thanks for coming in. You guys sit tight. If this is your first time, please like, share, and subscribe. Help us get the word out. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Taking a quick break from our podcast, I wanted to let you know about our life application program that we have for churches and nonprofits in the area that are trying to find programming that they can use in case the corona shuts you down and you're not able to get in. You go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. You click on our episodes, and you can check out our programs for as little as $29.99 a month to make sure that we're still getting the word out to those people that need it. Now, back to the program. Sir. All right, welcome back to the show. I am your host, Isaac, and I'm here with Daniel Vela. Vela? It sounds like a vanilla wafer.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm hungry. Right. Like my fat's getting excited. Like your name makes me hungry. All right, so you just
right.
All right. Anyways, moving on. Snorkel, and so you had just got out the military. You accidentally fell into college, and signed up, and then you just started doing nonprofit work. Now, here's the thing: like you do your bid, you got out. A lot of guys shun away from it. Why did you go towards helping those guys? Did something happen while you're down there where it helped you? Or you're like, man, I wish someone would have? Like,
man, I think it was just somewhat the way I was wired to do things. I've always been someone to, like, I don't know, volunteer and do things like that. But probably also dealing with my own things and looking out like, okay, maybe I can get involved with this group somehow and see what I can get from that.
Yeah.
But in turn, it all, comes back full circle. You're getting something out of it, but you're trying to help others.
Yeah.
And,
so how was your, like, rotation back, like the PTSD and the stress and the being over vigilant and all that stuff? Like, you were struggling with that stuff?
Man, I came home and I think I had some struggles, for sure, coming home, just adapting to, well, really everything, to finding a
Right.
work, to, like, at the time I was married, to, like, how to deal with that, and going to having children, all of that coming at you pretty quick while you're still trying to.
Like, when did that happen? The kids?
2010.
All right, so we're not there yet. All right.
Yeah.
Great. So, like, when you're going in there, the reason why I'm asking this question, because a lot of the guys that we deal with, like, how do you decompress from that overvigilance and not feeling like, I have to be hyper vigilant in my surroundings and making sure you know everybody and picking dangerous scenarios out of a crowd and that kind of stuff.
It varies for everybody, of course, but and sometimes you don't even realize you're going through that yet.
Right.
It takes you some time just to even figure out.
Like, did you actively go, I got to work on this, or just kind of?
No, it kind of hit a breaking point where, like, I think others were telling me, like, you might need to work.
Yeah.
And finding the help I did through the VA, through other organizations I was working with back at that time.
All right, cool.
And stuff. But yeah, and it helped me to help others, maybe, kind of.
No, dude, dude, I'm telling you right now, if you're feeling bad about yourself, go help somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That just makes you feel better. I don't know why. It just works.
Right.
Help me, help you. Right? All right, so it's 08, 09. You're working at the plant, and you're starting to volunteer, which is cool. And then what happens?
Let's see here. I'm working there.
Girlfriend, wife?
Well, I was married back at the time, when I was married in the military, married when I got out of the military.
So you skipped that part.
But
where'd you meet?
oh, man, the liquor store.
I love it.
Yeah, so,
like California?
No, here in Michigan. Man.
Okay. I love that answer. That makes me laugh so much.
But I was kind of going through after. Let me see. I get out 09.
Yeah.
I start kind of dealing with issues. I'm not getting divorced yet, but I'm dealing with those issues, separation and things. And then I'm also having kids at the time. Probably not the best time to be doing both those things,
Yeah.
And but that's just the way, things work out sometimes, while also trying to deal with my own things of, like, adapting to the world and what's wrong with me. Not even thinking nothing's wrong with me yet, though.
Right. It's a world.
Everything else doesn't matter. And so taking that time to figure that out, finally getting into the help I needed to get.
Yeah, so this happens, the relationship kind of falling apart, and so where did you go look for help?
The first place I was going, I did eventually get into the VA, and I'm not going to knock anything of the VA. They've actually helped me pretty well over the years.
Cool.
I've gotten some good help. It took me a couple different therapists to find one that worked with me the way,
the way you could work with them.
And nothing against the other ones. They just we weren't a mix.
Personality traits sometimes don't fit.
And I found one that worked for me, and I really went into all these therapies and different things with an open mind, trying to not be so critical of the therapist or critical of the type of therapy I'm going through, but actually trying to do the homework and take it in without rolling my eyes and judging, which it can be so easy to do sometimes with therapy. And
when you go in there and you're hostile, you're like, I'm looking for help, but I'm going to punch you in the face every time I'm here.
I'm going to disagree with, and I'm going to tell you why that don't work.
Yeah, let me tell you why you're wrong.
And you run into that. I've run into it working with veterans, that guys that they're looking for the reason why it won't work. No matter what help you give them, that won't work because I did this. And
it's like a fear-based response to something that I have to address the things I suck with, which we all stink at some stuff. Oddly enough, we're not perfect. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
Right. And being held accountable is scary sometimes, man. It's tough.
And putting yourself in a position where someone else can judge you.
Yeah, and tell you to hold yourself accountable. It is.
It gets terrifying.
Especially after maybe you've been in the military and you think you're big and bad or whatever.
Right.
And now you got someone telling you, like, no, you need to relax. You need to go talk to somebody.
Yeah. like I remember one of the people I was talking to, they said, well, have you ever thought maybe it's just you?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Oh, what? Right. And it was like that moment where it was like, and then like I remember seeing this another person just the opposite side of this, and he was like, you're so positive, I can't help you.
It makes me think,
you know?
What's it make me think of? This little quote says, like, I'll try to keep it PG. If you met an a-hole today, you met an a-hole. If you meet an a-hole every day, you're probably the a-hole.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. Yeah, and people only hang around people they got stuff in common with. Right? So if you're surrounded by buttholes,
right,
you may be a turd.
Yeah, right.
Just saying.
Right.
You know? Anyways, yeah, no, so you're getting in there, and did it work, like, right away? Did it take you a little while? Because it took me a while to, like, adapt to that.
And I did. And on top of that, I had a supportive family, man. I came home, I got, a mother and brothers and uncles and all these people that support me, and I still struggled. I can't imagine coming back and not having a support system and trying to do it while, I'm struggling over here with people that love me and are there for me, so it shows how tough it can be.
Yeah. So this is like 2010 to when? How long's that process?
Let me see here. I got out 2009, so 10. I had a kid 2012. I got a kid. So 2010 to 2012, 13 area, maybe those 2, 3, 4.
So what are you doing for work during this time? Like you said, you're doing the shop.
Yeah, I'm working over at a factory in Davison there for, I think I'm working there for a couple years, and it's fine. It's paying the bills.
Yeah.
I come home to Michigan. I've got a factory job, and but I don't know. It just
not very satisfying.
No, not by any means, and like not that I was necessarily looking for anything else, but in so many ways, things kind of found me just by me volunteering and going out there. I'm networking without even realizing.
Right. So you're getting out in the community, you're talking to people, and you got your job that pays the bills, but you're looking for something else. Mm-hmm. And then what happens?
And just kind of as I'm networking, I meet more people that tell me like, hey, how about this? How about that? And I get told about a job down in Redford, working with veterans at a veterans treatment court. Peer support. And so I met that person through volunteering at another veterans treatment court, and they told me about that job, went and applied, and I ended up getting that job and working there. So
no kidding.
So what
was that like?
I enjoyed it. That's it, kind of what I was already doing anyway, which
was it like peer recovery coaching?
Yeah, peer support.
Yeah.
And pretty much what they wanted was somebody that's been there and done that.
Right.
So really what they wanted was somebody that's already been through the VA as far as a peer. Like, I've been through the VA system, so I can tell you, like, hey, maybe try this type of therapy, try this type.
Because you kind of need someone to guide you through, because when you first get in there, it can be
on top of that, I was a veteran that had, been to combat, been deployed a couple times, been divorced, had a couple kids. So almost like whatever these guys were dealing with, like, man, I get it.
You had a smattering of frustration.
So like, so I was able to understand it and help them, point them out to whatever resources I knew about, obviously.
All right, and that started in 2012?
Man, all the years kind of.
I think that's what you said.
But yeah, about,
Yeah.
I had a kid in 2012. Yeah. That was probably like 2014 where I started working at that job.
So okay. So you're still doing the shop tune on. Well, before we go to our next break, I want to kind of get into, now you had, and how long were you married?
Together or married? I was married like, I don't know, 7, 8 years probably.
7, 8 years. And how many years were you together?
Maybe like 10. I don't know, man.
Something. All right, so almost like a decade or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so you're in there, and you're doing this work, and you said roughly it was 2012, 2013, 2014. Yeah. How long did you do that?
Man, I did that for on and off, volunteering at one up here for years, and still kind of doing it, still kind of volunteering with them from time to time. So.
All right, so you really liked it. Being able to reach out with the guys and having that camaraderie, was that helpful for you as well as them?
Yeah, I guess so in some ways, but not so much, man. The camaraderie is what it is for me, kind of. I'm a loner anyway, but I can tell being there because we used to host, hikes and runs here in town every week.
Okay.
So, like, we'd get guys together, we all go on a hike, a bunch of veterans and their family members. I mean, for a minute there, we were doing them like every other week, and had, 10, 15 people and their family members coming out on a hike with us.
What happened, COVID?
COVID was one of the big things that kind of knocked that down.
Right.
That was a group I was working with years ago, Team Red, White, and Blue. And I was the chapter captain here in Flint with that for a little bit.
Okay.
And, we're doing trivia night with veterans and stuff. We're, having little, holiday parties, whatever. We're just doing little things to get people off the couch.
Yeah. In the community,
doing something, trying to, interact again. And,
well, it's real easy just to not get involved.
Yeah, and sometimes, man, it's as easy as that. Sometimes the answer isn't so complicated.
Right.
Just get out, get active, get interacting with people, have some laughs, have some fun.
Right.
Sometimes, of course, sometimes it's much more severe than that, but sometimes that's all it takes. Hey, get out of that rut.
Well, it's funny. You got to talk people into having fun.
Yeah, you do.
That's the weird part.
Right. Military was like that, mandatory fun sometimes.
Right. Yeah, like hydrate.
Right, yeah.
Right? But it's like, and everybody gets there. Like, if this is something that you're working on and have difficulty with, you're not alone by this by a long shot. There's a lot of people that struggle with depression and frustration and social anxiety and being around a lot of people and the sounds and the movements and the lights. It can be a massive issue. So it's more of a people thing. Right. And I think the fact that you do this for veterans, I love that. And I love that the fact that you decided to help them, and being a veteran puts you in this position to help them, because that's just the way your mind works, you said.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of from being a little crossing guard as a kid. I think that's just how I've been, man.
You're just a service-oriented person.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, so you're doing this. You had a child, ended up with a divorce. You're doing this. And what happens? Because you said you did it the whole time, so I think this is an and then what else?
Yeah. I can kind of go down the timeline. It all meshes together, so forgive me on the dates a little bit here, but it all meshes together. But so yeah, I'm raising a couple young kids now. I'm on my own. I'm kind of separated and divorced, and I don't care, man. Iraq, Afghanistan, none of it was scarier than when I'm just standing. There were two toddlers in diapers, and
you're their survival.
I'm like, oh my God, this ain't legal, right? Like,
I love it,
man. And that was a struggle for me, man. Like, and it was also like, and that's what I mean. Like, God bless that I have my mother and people like that. I had a support system when, like, Mom, these kids are crying their heads off. I don't know what to do. Mom will come over and help a little bit,
Yeah.
And I can't imagine having to do all these things. And there are so many. That's why, like you said, so many people struggle. It's not just people that have come back from the military. There's
it's just people.
Single moms and such struggling all the time. There's people are always struggling. That's why it's important for us to help each other, man.
Right. All right. We got to go to our next break. Sit tight, like, share, and subscribe. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Aaron with UCAN. We're down here at the Unity Fest the Heart of Flint is putting on, Kersley Park Pavilion over here on the east side. Doing a lot of great things out here with a lot of great people. There's all types of vendors, people giving away food and water and clothing, just a lot of resources for the community. UCAN's out here, and we're talking to a lot of people already whose loved ones have been afflicted by the disease of addiction. So we're able to get our information out, hopefully be able to provide resources to those folks in the future.
There's freedom in your name, Jesus. There's freedom in your name. You break every
All right, here we are, Unity Fest 2, and I'm here with the promoter, Jeremy. How are we doing today, buddy?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing great. We're here at the UCAN tent, handing out for United Community Addiction Network, getting everybody here helped out. It looks like a full house. How many people do you think are here?
Oh, a few hundred. We just opened, so I think it's going to get better, though, today.
All right, and how many people you got playing today?
We have 3 artists. We got Shantae Music, and we have Nick Hill, who's out of Saginaw, and then End of I. I don't know who they are, but...
Welcome back to UCAN Studios. I am your host, Isaac Walsh, and I'm here with Daniel Vela. God, it still sounds like a cookie. And so we were just getting into your story, and we're kind of getting the meat of it now. And you were talking about how people were struggling with things, and you were getting out being a peer support person, and using your experience to help other people that are going through things. And you were just talking about how having your support group with your mom, and So if people don't have a support support like you had, is there somewhere they can go that you recommend?
Man, yeah, I definitely like reach out to a lot of different places. Like, and I'll hit on like the veterans specifically, but all these American Legions and VFWs that are struggling, man. Sometimes they've got the reputation of, oh, it's kind of a bar, but there's so much more than that. A lot of them are doing good work still and volunteering. They got honor guards that guys can join. And if you're looking for that camaraderie, it's there.
Yeah.
You know, it's waiting for you. You're never not allowed to come back to that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So whether it be that or, Team Red, White, and Blue is a good one where, they're constantly got hikes and, fun things going on, trivia nights.
And this is all in Genesee County?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a lot of it going on, Genesee County and all over Michigan, honestly. So.
Very cool. All right, so you're doing that. You're dealing with the kids, trying to dad it up, and
Yep. And learn that new role. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And what happened? What happened next?
Man, I guess and that's kind of a big period of like learning how to raise the kids and stuff, which now has been so much fun. It is. I have a great time. My kids are now they're 13 and 12. So
Okay.
But yeah,
Very not opinionated, I'm sure.
yeah, and
Yeah.
And it's a great time. 2 boys I got, and me and them. I'm still just a big kid at heart myself, so like kind of gotta check myself and remember that. Oh yeah, I'm the adult here. I gotta, make sure we.
Yeah, you're not the reason everybody's getting in trouble.
Yeah, I can't have too much fun, I guess.
That's very cool.
Well, yeah, and just playing that role for the last few years, man, while also working.
All right, so you're doing the dad thing. You're doing the nonprofit thing, and you said you started with that. What was the next step?
Probably just no more. I don't know if it was the next step, man, but I continued working with so many organizations. So like Strength in Numbers there. I met.
Now, how did you meet her? Her is Renee.
Yeah, Renee. I met her. I want to say I first seen it on Facebook, seeing that they were working, doing things for veterans. People were making donations. They're getting food out to veterans.
Right.
I had already been doing that on my own level, with different organizations, like I said, with the hikes and the runs.
Yeah.
And things like that. But so I go out there and realize I don't live too far from her, and I kind of start volunteering with her as well to, make food deliveries, furniture deliveries for veterans, pretty much whatever they need.
Right.
They contact through her Facebook page and let her know. And for years now, we've been doing that, whether it be food, furniture, or just.
So someone's a veteran and they need something. They just go to Strength in Numbers on Facebook, and that's how they connect?
Yep. They send a direct message there on the page, let us know. And we can't help everybody, but we like to if we don't have the resources.
Right.
We might know someone that does,
Right.
And so.
Hence the name Strength in Numbers.
Exactly.
And she seems to know everybody, and everybody seems to know her.
Well, and how that's kind of also happened now is Strength in Numbers kind of called a meeting there, and the familiar faces that were constantly helping veterans in the community, Renee kind of finally brought them together and said, hey, I see you're always helping veterans. I see you're always helping veterans. We all meet at a diner, and now we're all talking and get to know each other. And this is kind of where Mid-Michigan Veterans Coalition started.
Okay.
Maybe a dozen of us around a diner, table.
Okay.
And like, hey, we all help veterans. We all, can help them different ways, but let's all meet and talk. And then she started planning the Mid-Michigan Veteran Coalition meetings, and that's just grown and grown from that maybe 10, 12 people that first day.
Yeah.
Now we got 50, 60 different organizations, volunteers, and groups that come and say, hey, this is what we're doing for veterans. And so now we all know each other. All the resources are able to like point to each other like, hey, we don't got it, but they'll help.
Yeah. All right. So how did, give me an example of stuff is that thing you guys did in Davison at the end of the year?
That is. Yep.
Tell people about that a little bit. That was great.
Now
There's a buttload of people.
Yeah. And what the Mid-Michigan Veterans Coalition is, and we kind of just chose to call it that because we work in the Mid-Michigan area, and it's not a official organization by any other means than it's a group of volunteers that get together, and then other organizations, whether it be at the state level, the county level, nonprofit organizations, or just legions, VFWs, or just volunteers. They come in that day. We usually have a speaker kind of say like, hey, these are the resources we offer, teaches everyone else about the resources. and everyone else gets a chance to speak. Like, hey, I'm from this organization, and this.
That must take a long time because that's a long list, brother.
Yeah, and they kind of get through it fairly quick. With
Is there like food?
What they do, but they do have lunch there, and
All
it takes a couple hours usually, and it also is a good networking opportunity if you're someone that works with veterans.
Right.
It's good to know these other familiar faces that are also working with veterans, and how we can help each other to help veterans. It's all the same goal.
Yeah. Because if I remember the number, it was over 100 groups.
Yeah, I'd say
I think it's like 108 groups or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
She keeps a pretty good list, and it helps us, like people like me, when I come across the veteran, just in my personal life, I can say, hey, man,
we don't do this, but so and so does.
Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And there's so many niche markets to help veterans. We've really come a long way from the Vietnam era where it seemed like they got no help to where.
And it's still crazy that a lot of veterans don't know. It just blows my mind. That was the whole reason I want to have you on, because it's like, oh, there's help.
Yeah,
there's a buttload.
Right.
Like there's a bunch.
I definitely can't buy that. If any veteran says like, oh, there ain't no help out there,
they're not looking.
Like you're not looking hard enough, really, because. And I'm not saying nothing because sometimes it's just hard to get out and look for help.
Yeah.
But,
or where do you go? But if you just Google veterans help, there's a bunch of stuff.
And
that
a lot
comes
of
up.
the organizations and things I found were like getting on Facebook and searching. I'm like, okay, this is a veterans community page. Let me get in on this and then see. And every now and then, let me screenshot that and then pretty much that's all. I've turned my Facebook page into nothing but me sharing resources.
There you go. So if you got somebody that's struggling with food or furniture or jobs or anything like that.
Every pillar that you could possibly need help with, there's something there, to help with that.
Yeah, because that event you guys put on in Davison was massive. I mean,
that was owned by the Genesee County Veteran Services. They put on a great resource event out there, and they're advertising that everywhere they possibly can.
All right, now one of the things that happened there that was cool, and I wanted you to explain because I got it, but I didn't get it, but I got it, but I didn't. Was like those guys that got those blankets.
Okay.
So explain them. But so there's, I think, 8.
Again, this is another veterans organization. It's called Quilts of Honor. I hope I'm not getting that
Quilts of Honor. That's what it was.
I hope I'm not getting that wrong. Yeah, Quilts of Honor. And at the same time when that resource event was starting, Quilts of Honor was also honoring like a dozen veterans over at the Davison VFW with quilts. And
so people would make these quilts for people, and they're honored for their work in the community, their service.
As a thank you for your service, here is a really nice made quilt.
Very nice quilts.
Very nice quilts. And something just to kind of comfort that veteran if he ever needs to be comforted. Hey, got a nice quilt.
Because one of them dudes up there just started breaking down, and I had to walk off because I was getting so emotional.
Well, and some of these guys, man, have never really been thanked for their service in that way. Like, maybe they've heard thank you for your service from somebody. But for the time it goes in to make these quilts and then to say some nice things and to honor them with that, it really touches these guys. So it's a I'm getting emotional thinking about it. It was just because my man was probably 80 plus, and you just saw just the tears coming down his face and his chin going. And I was like, dude, what is this? And like, why is that such a thing? But to see how much like some of our other brotherhood needs to just be told that they have value. And that's basically all that happened. Yeah. And it was extraordinary. Just watching the tears. Oh gosh, man, it was a goosebump. I tell you, working in peer support, man, sometimes you're dead on with that. Reminding these guys that feel so down and out about life, that went from leading a platoon of men into combat to where now they feel uncomfortable at the mall. Sometimes reminding them that, nah, man, don't forget who you are and what you're capable of.
You still have purpose. There's still a reason.
Don't forget what you're capable of, man. If you've done that before in your life, there's no reason you can't continue.
Imagine what you can do for your community.
Exactly. That's really kind of the bigger picture there. Is like, you've served your country. That's great. Come home, serve your community. Continue to be, a good example of what an American is, what a citizen.
Help us. Help you, right?
Exactly. And that way we all help each other, man. That's how it works.
Like, let me battle for you. Let me stand. I don't have to lead. I'll just stand next to you. Let's just make it happen. Right there with you. All right. And one of the other groups you work with is Catholic Charities, and it is specifically in the Sacred Heart Village. When did you start doing that?
That was kind of a recent thing I heard about, and I was helping another group try to build some home for veterans in another area, and then lo and behold, right there downtown Flint, my hometown, not far from me, someone gets a hold of me and says they're trying to build 26 small homes
Okay.
in the Flint area. And I'm like, hey, I'm all for that, So I go down there, kind of get to know these people, and I get to get a little tour of the homes. They're very nice, small homes, and they're working on doing some things. They're holding a lunch for veterans November 10th there at Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities, yeah.
So, it's they're just in the starting of getting that done, but I'm working with them however I can.
So it was just part of the networking community that got together.
Yep, it was back when I was leading those runs and stuff. I networked, ended up meeting a guy that runs Huntington Bank downtown, and he gave my name. And again, that's another thing that helps, because while you're out there going for a hike with your veteran friends, you're networking, your name's getting out there, you're meeting people, and
it's almost by osmosis, man.
Yeah, it is. It's just what's the opposite of collateral damage? I don't know, like collateral, positivity.
Not damage.
Yeah, exactly. But good things happen without you even trying.
Yeah, collateral
sometimes.
construction.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're just because you're getting out there, you're getting to know people, introducing yourself, and like, hey, I know this guy, and that's how it's happened for me a few times. So they're just getting started downtown with Catholic Charities in the Sacred Heart Village. 26 homes and a community center is the goal for veterans, and I really love to see that here. Because I feel. Like I said, with Mid-Michigan Veterans Coalition and all that we're doing, man, we have a community that is taking care of their veterans here. We really do. And I, as a veteran, I couldn't be more proud of all my community has done. Right here, little Flint and Genesee County, they're taking care of their own. They are. And so what a better place to have, some more veteran homes than a town that cares. So.
And Daniel, this is why I had you on the show, because your passion comes through, and it's real, and it's not fake, and I love that part. Like, the rest of it is just the rest of it, and helping people, it's great. But I wanted people to see your heart and how much you love people. But before we get to the next one, we have to go to our next break.
Let's do it.
Again, if this is your first time, please help us get the word out. Like, share, and subscribe. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Every name, Jesus. Always set me free.
Hey, it's Aaron with UCAN. We're down here at the Unity Fest the Heart of Flint is putting on. Kersley Park Pavilion over here on the east side. Doing a lot of great things out here with a lot of great people. There's all types of vendors, people giving away food and water and clothing, just a lot of resources for the community. UCAN's out here, and we're talking to a lot of people already whose loved ones have been afflicted by the disease of addiction. So we're able to get our information out, hopefully be able to provide resources to those folks in the future.
There's freedom in your name, Jesus. There's freedom in your name. You break every
All right, here we are at Unity Fest 2, and I'm here with the promoter, Jeremy. How are we doing today, buddy?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing great. We're here at the UCAN tent, handing out for United Community Addiction Network, getting everybody here helped out. It looks like a full house. How many people do you think are here?
A few hundred. We just opened, so I think it's going to get better, though, today. Cause
All right, and how many people you got playing today?
we have 3 artists. We got Shantae Music, and we have Nick Hill, who's out of Saginaw, and then End of I. I don't know who they are, but...
All right, welcome back to UCAN Studios. I am your host, Isaac, and I'm here with Daniel, and welcome back to the show. And you're just giving your heart out on the stuff that you're doing with the veterans. And what I love about you is you're just genuine. The first time we met, you were actually very honest, and the stuff that you're doing, you're just like, this is what it is. And when I asked you to come on, you're like, yeah, absolutely. So you were just talking about the Sacred Heart and getting the people out, and you said there's something you want to say for the show on the break. Do you remember what that was?
Man, no.
It's all right, because that gives me a chance to let you talk about the Genesee County Veterans Memorial in Flint.
Okay.
Give some people some information about that.
Well, Genesee County Veterans Memorial, man, I've talked to people that are from Flint all their lives and never knew it was even there.
Right.
But it's just a little slice of pie downtown at the end of North Saginaw Street where the forks off. And
by Soggy Bottoms in the grocery store there?
Yep, right over by there,
Okay.
And it's a beautiful park. Technically, it's the oldest park in the city of Flint, the very first park.
Okay.
And it is also our memorial to the veterans that have been killed in action for all of Genesee County.
All right, and you told me that all the names of all of the soldiers that have died in action are there. Is that right?
Every soldier, a Marine, sailor, all of it that has ever been killed in action, their name is on those pillars downtown. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful way to honor them. And it's been an honor to me being on the board over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And getting donors and sponsors and people to invest in it. And we fixed all the cement. We've probably gotten over $100,000 invested into it. And it looks how it should, and to honor them properly.
Nice.
We've gotten names that were missing on the wall to honor. And we've been, last Memorial Day, there was a Vietnam Marine, and his name wasn't on the wall. We invited his family down who still lived in the area, honored them, placed his name on the wall.
Dude, that'd be emotional as crap,
yeah,
right?
And so we added the Civil War veterans' names on the wall. We've really done a lot. Got that place cleaned up and looking great. And we hold our annual Veterans Day ceremony there every November 11th, 9 a.m.
And so people can come check that out?
Welcome to come down and honor veterans that day.
All right, so you honor veterans, you go there. What happens? You meet afterwards, get a little bite, do something?
Usually we do the Memorial Day ceremony, and we also do the Veterans Day ceremony. We have a keynote speaker. We have some songs. It's a little chilly in November, so we'll take it right there into the Durant Hotel, which is literally just right behind behind it. And it's good just to see the people that come out, rain or shine or cold or whatever, and they sit there and they honor the veterans. And it's you can say thank you for your service and stuff, but to me, man, seeing those people come out, seeing the families, and being there for the families that are missing their loved ones, that are looking at their loved ones, their brothers, their uncles, whoever the names on those walls, and saying like, hey, we're here today to honor them, though, and to remember them. And I love that about, again, going back to why I love my community, because seeing these people come out and honor them, that's the way to properly do it. So.
All right, so we got through, and you said that's November 11th at 9:30 a.m., right?
Yes.
And that's right downtown, and anybody can just go and show up to them?
Come and join us. There's an event on Facebook as well for that, for the McFarland Park Veterans Memorial. So.
All right, and then what other, you said November's a big month for you, right?
It is.
What else you got going on, dude?
November 3rd, we got the Mid-Michigan Veterans Coalition, again, where that's all organizations here in the Mid-Michigan area that are helping veterans. We kind of connect again every few months, see who's got what going on, have a new speaker. So that would be November 3rd at the Davison VFW, I believe at 11.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And then November 10th, we have a veterans luncheon, free to any veterans at Catholic Charities. Mm-hmm. Veterans come get lunch.
Now, do you got to have your card or it's on your license or whatever?
Nope. You just RSVP, at Catholic Charities, either on their website or their Facebook page.
So I should do that.
Then. Yep.
Just
and
to
November
come check
10th,
out.
come have lunch. I'll be there kind of hosting it, actually.
Okay.
They asked me to kind of host that a little bit. And so I'll be doing that November 10th with them. And then November 11th is Veterans Day. So that morning I will be at the Genesee County Veterans Memorial. We'll have a keynote speaker.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of
So do you know any of the restaurants that are doing like the steaks and stuff for the veterans?
Oh man,
there used to be a list, right?
There's a bunch of them. There's still quite a bit of them.
Is there?
I don't get to hit them too much, but there's a lot of them. Yeah.
Well, it's great because you get to leave a waitress like a $40 tip or something because you don't have to pay for the steak, which is nice.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
That's actually my favorite part.
That's the way you should do it. That's the way that
you
day
watch
should
the
be done.
waitress's face just light up, and you're like, "Thank you
really
for your
should.
service."
I like that you say that. Let's remind all the veterans it's Veterans Day.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless you're 70, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Then maybe
the dollar and the quarter guys or whatever.
All right, yeah, your service
But no,
is good enough.
like if you get that, you gotta pay that for it.
Right.
know?
You drop the 20 ain't too hard that day. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody gets a dub, right? I mean, come on.
Right.
Plus, it's good times, and you get to see out there. You end up walking in. I don't know. What was the place that had the peanuts all over the floor?
Is that Logan's?
It was one of them, right?
Yeah.
I remember I was in there, and this cat come in there, and he looked at me, and he just gives me the nod. I'm like, oh, where are you from? We got to yakking it up, right? To the point my wife is like, will you shut up? And I'm like,
well, see,
sorry,
the double
babe.
bonus for me is Veterans Day is also my birthday.
What?
So it's kind of like, I kind of also get the dessert for free that day, So
nice. Wow. You're only paying for the potatoes.
right. And so I kind of jokingly say, like, with all this volunteer stuff, I always work with veterans. I was like, I think I was born for this,
Yeah, right.
So.
Literally born for this. That's super funny. Yeah. But yeah, our skilled trades program that we have for veterans, the Helmets of Hard Hats program, marketing that for people. I mean,
another great program. I've
yeah, well, getting the guy, because like you said, like one of the things I want to key back on is you had said at the beginning, and it's like when you came home, you were just like, whatever, I'm getting a little factory job and paying the bills and yada, 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 but that purpose wasn't filled. And it's like, well, what if we got something to do that, but let's also get you hooked up to this, and if you're doing it through Veteran Services, then the likelihood of them giving back is super high because that's how they got the freaking job in the first place.
Right,
It all works itself out. All right. All of that happened and all that's wonderful and great and grand and thank you for your service and blah, 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 blah. All right. You decided that you were going to start doing comedy work.
Yeah.
Hold on. You got to let me intro this right.
Go ahead.
All right. So we sat down and talked and you're like, I was thinking about doing it when we talked. So you took the action to do it. You got to have like 2 minutes a bit, right?
I got some, yeah.
All right, hit us.
Oh man, yeah. So I've been doing it for maybe a year now, but some of the jokes I did do an event at a Memorial Day Veterans fundraiser.
Okay.
I did a joke. Let's see. You got to keep it PG. There's no
absolute PG.
There's no curse words in there.
That's right.
But
curseless.
But I'm gonna say it split the crowd. All right. So I'll give you this and it's Memorial Day. I can only do this joke on Memorial Day.
Okay.
No curse words. It's a knock knock joke. And I asked the crowd on Memorial Day. I say, knock knock.
Who's there?
Not your son.
Oh no!
And that really split the crowd. Man.
So you're a dark humor comedy guy.
A little bit. And so like I don't know what all I can or can't do. You know. So
just no cuss word.
But so I did that. I did that, and the lady.
What do you lead into next?
Well, what had happened was it split the crowd. The lady down front was telling me, you can't say that. You can't say that. And I kind of like that, I do these jokes in front of veterans who are kind of stereotypically, notoriously not offended by much at all.
Right.
So when I find a joke that...
So you got the,
So when I can find a joke that offends a crowd of veterans, that kind of got me going a little bit. Like okay. And they split the crowd, and so some of them didn't like it. So I was like, oh, well, I guess you had to be there. Gotta go from there.
Very good.
So,
and you roll out. Now, how much material do you have together? Like you can just do straightforward.
I got about maybe 10 to 15 minutes if I'm stretching it. And it's not all memorized by any means.
Yeah.
And it all changes depending on what show I'm doing. Again, there was a veterans free stand-up comedy class I took recently.
Okay.
Again, so many resources, niche markets of resources. You want to be a stand-up comedian? There's free stand-up comedy classes for veterans.
Right.
And I took a 6-week course, and they helped me get 5 minutes of material together that I put on social media and stuff. And that had to be clean as well. So.
Oh yeah, how was the response to that?
It was all right. But for me, when they told me, hey, you got to put together 5 minutes of clean material, I go to look at my material. I'm like, okay, well, I'll use some of the jokes I've already wrote, and I realize I have no material that I can use.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to write all new material. So it was a challenge for me because now I got to come up with all new material these next 6 weeks, and I got to keep it clean. And it was a bit of a challenge, but I did get it.
You got anything you're working on, like?
Yeah, man, and that's what I like about comedy too is the process of it. What makes something funny? Take a bigger idea, break it down,
and dumb it down to its stupidest form, and then present.
You know, and make it funny. I got I'm trying not to think of anything I can do.
Listen, and it's new, so I don't want you to come out, and it's PG. But the thing that I find cool about everything that you're talking about, and maybe just plug some of the other people that you work with here, is you went from Flint, military, downrange, home. You decided to help people. And even though you say, well, that's just the way I was built, maybe that's just, you made that decision early and that's a habit you kicked up early and you just always had. But that's not always the case, man, because you come home and when you get broke, sometimes you don't fix.
Right.
And you've decided to help people. And then on top of it, my favorite part about it is the reason why I started the show with he's a comic, because you wanted to be funny. Yeah. And out of all the outcomes of that story, funny isn't the one that fits. You know what I mean? Like passionate, caring, loving, kind, blah, 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 blah. But funny. Yeah. That part I thought was good. I'd say
definitely my time in the military, I was probably one of the guys usually trying to crack a joke or find some humor in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of doing it back then without even testing out material on guys without them even
just
knowing
the way your personality was.
Yeah.
So were you the type of guy that to relieve tension in an area would crack a joke or do something?
Yeah, and there was a bunch of us, of course. That was a constant.
Sure, it's a competition, if I remember correctly.
But and there was a couple guys funnier than me for sure, man. We had some funny guys. So, but I love doing that. It kept it light, I never took nothing too serious.
What's the point, right? It's already serious enough.
Yeah,
I don't need any more serious in my life. Yeah. Because, just for the record, if you defecate in someone's cover, they really get frustrated about that. Just, But it does look like a snow cone, I've been told, allegedly. Can't confirm or deny. All right, so just to go over what we're doing, and so I'm really glad you work with Renee. Is there any other standout people? You're like someone that's just doing super good work. You want to make sure he gets a shout out because we got a couple minutes left.
Man, there's so many. No, I couldn't even name out just anyone specifically, like I said. But there are so many different resources, niche markets of resources. No matter what you're into, no matter what healing looks like to you, there's probably something out there for you.
That's amazing.
You just got to be willing to look and ask, and find out.
So what's your favorite part about all of the stuff that you're doing? I mean, you're doing a bunch, dude.
And at the end of the day, my favorite part of all of it is, don't get me wrong, like when it comes to helping people, it's just that a stress is relieved from somebody, man. It's as simple as that. Some stress that was on somebody ain't on them no more. And God bless for that, right? Like,
So at the end of the day, your whole purpose is to help other people who are struggling not struggle as much.
Yeah,
That's why I had you on the show, because that right there is what we're supposed to be doing, I think.
Yeah.
When you look at what people go through, whether they're veteran or non-veteran, but especially veterans, but not just veterans, but they're stressed, right? And life and the job and the relationship and the family and the kids and, the mental health and life in general and, constant craziness going on the news. And it's like, you look at all that stuff and it's like, how am I supposed to deal with this?
It can be overwhelming, but we can take care of your own community, do what you can, for others. All right,
so then I have a couple questions I want to ask you, since you're not going to give me anything. I got some questions.
Okay.
All right. Those little houses, are those the Elon Musk houses?
I don't believe so, no.
Oh, those little $10,000 ones with everything?
The two they have now are, that would be nice if Elon wanted to donate some houses. But the ones they got now, one was made by the Genesee Intermediate School District. So the students made one of the houses.
Shut up.
So, again, just another way that the community is, pitching in to help.
All right, hold on. So you said when you walk through, nice.
Yeah, very
Define nice.
It's just a one room, and I wouldn't call it a tiny home because it's a small home. It's got a foundation. It's on the ground.
Okay. It's not like a trailer.
Yeah, nothing like that. So it's a nice small 1-bedroom home. They're opened up wide for anyone that may have disabilities and things like that. But one was built by the students there. One was built by the Amish community, and I want to say that they build them from around like $60,000 or something like that. But but they're nice little homes to give somebody so much that, to just that sense of security and
Well, second question is, you said this was the Sacred Heart thing, right?
Sacred Heart Village.
So you said village. So I'm picturing a bunch of these in one area?
They're hoping for 26 of them, I believe, and then a community center where we can hold, things like resource events, workouts.
Like, how did you get the land? Like, how did that part work?
That comes through Catholic Charities. I believe they bought some land from the land bank.
All right, now what part of Flint is that in?
Oh, man. They got two over there on, I want to say, Root Street near downtown Flint, but they want to put the community center in the 26 of them.
Yeah.
It's a little further north by the North End Soup Kitchen. I don't know what street
that
is.
Yeah. Stewart.
Over there by Stewart.
Yeah.
Kind of, across the street from that North End Soup Kitchen.
Yeah, by that church.
There's, I think, a fair amount of land that they plan to put there. And
there's
anybody that wants to get involved with them, can get a hold of them and
through Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities.
So do they just Google Catholic Charities and Sacred Heart, or
they can look up Catholic Charities, their Facebook page or their website, and they can get a hold if they that's something someone's.
All right, and then the other thing I want to make sure I mention is my buddy George. They're having a cruise, Veterans of Now. It's coming up. I think it's the 3rd. You can check it out on Veterans of Now. If you got a car, I know it's late in the season, but they're going to be escorted by the Sheriff's Department, State Police, and Flint Police from Flint to Frankenmuth, and go check out the little memorial that they have out there, which will be cool. I think they said they're going to have 40 or 50 cars. So it's going to be pretty awesome, pretty big thing. Awesome. Well, with that, dude, our time is up. Daniel, thank you so much for coming in, man. I love everything that you're doing. I can't wait to meet everybody else on the 3rd and be an assistance and help to these people. It's a great community, good people to hang out with. Thank you so much for coming in, Spiritual Warfare Unit. UCAN. We will see you next time. Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.
Spent so much time believing the lies. I knew I wasn't meant to live so let me stay this way.